I wanted to do a video talking about how important it is for us to know when it's time to let go, and how important it is for us to follow through on that feeling, on that knowing. One of the recent things that happened to me is that I recently quit my job. Thank God. So yeah, I put in my resignation a few days ago, and it was effective immediately. It had gotten to the point where a 2 weeks notice was not warranted, nor was it deserved. But a lot of this is my fault. And when I say it's my fault because I knew that it was time to go a year ago. I had been having this conversation with my friends. I had been having this conversation with anybody who knew me, that last year was time. And I felt that it was time, but I was in the middle of rehabbing a house. And, you know, of course that costs money. And I didn't want to pull money from like savings and other places to solely fund it when I was, you know, bringing an income in. So I was thinking about it the way that we should think about things, in kind of a responsible way when it comes to finances. So it was a lot of things that impacted me holding off. But as the year, especially, I had gone through switching managers, and I had a really good manager for 2 years. And then these last 9 months, I had a demon, you know, and so, you know, after a while, it had just gotten to the point where I don't have to do this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to be here. I don't have to deal with that. I had a conversation with my best friend, and I was telling him that, basically, you know, like thinking about my life and thinking about the things that I can control right now. And he said something super powerful where he said, control the controllables. And I felt like what he said was super powerful because that is actually what I had decided. I had, you know, a conversation where, I had just decided that I can't control how people act. I can't control what other people think or do, but what I can control is not only how I respond to things, but I can control how long I stay in an environment. And so over the last year, I've been strategizing this move. I mean, I've created different videos where I kind of alluded to, you know, a shift happening. And that was one of the shifts, is that I knew that I had gotten to the space where I was done with working there. I knew that I missed being in a world. You know what I mean? Like, I miss being in a world. I miss being in a world. I miss experiencing all of this beauty. You know what I mean? And not that I couldn't experience it on a day-to-day, because the reality is I did have a lot of flexibility. I did have a lot of opportunities to get out and, you know, be out in parks and things like that. But I had this sense that there's this sense that people, when they see that you are, you see this guy, when they see that you are going in a different trajectory, when they see that you are going through an elevation, they feel it, they sense it. I can almost pinpoint when the shift happened. And I think the shift, listen, she might have saw the video. She might have been one of the, 14 or 10, depending on what video you watch, people that watched the video and sensed something and then became even more demonic than she already was. But for me, I have to take responsibility of the fact that I knew that it was time to go a year ago. And oftentimes in my life, when I don't act immediately, things start happening. Things start happening when I know that time is up, and I continue to go and go and go and go. And so my encouragement here for you is, no matter what situation you are in, know that it's important to be in tune with yourself. It's important to know when times is up. It's important to know when that thing that's deep inside of you, because I think that we all have it. Sometimes we ignore it, or the all that's going on in the world, have us off course. But I think it's important to be in tune with that gut feeling that's telling you it's time to move on. It's time to move on, and it's time to let go. And that is okay. The one thing that I've learned is that God is a provider. And quite honestly, I've said this before, I'm a smart man when it comes to money. You know what I mean? I'm very fiscally responsible. And I don't think that anytime you work, I don't care what your role is, I don't care who your best friend is, I don't care how long you've known, I do not think that whenever you work for any of these organizations, you should have all of your eggs in one basket. One job is too close to having no job. You know what I mean? And so I've done videos before where I said that it's important for us to, while we are gainfully employed, invest into things that will give us the opportunity to live a better life in the event that we no longer have the opportunity to work at that company or we decide to walk away from it. And I'm a man of my word, and so I'm not saying anything that I've not practiced. So, there are things that we have going on, real estate and other things where, the money is working to make sure that we don't have to always be tied to this corporate entity, any of them. And so, we got to get about our business. We got to get about really like being in tune and in line with ourselves and thinking about what our next steps are, thinking about like what is necessary, because these people are flimsy. You hear me? These people are, on your team one day, against you the next day. And I think that is something actually profound that Dr. Wayne Dyer says. I can't even remember which one of his books, but he says, I'll find it and I'll put it here. But Dr. Wayne Dyer says that it's important that we not be invested one way or the other in what people say. So that means that if somebody is saying good things about you, don't let it go to your head. Don't get ego out over it. And if somebody is saying bad things, don't let it go to your head. Don't get ego over it. Because either which way, on both ends of those spectrums, the person can flip and have a difference of opinion about you. And if you put all of your eggs or all of your stake into how man feels about you, that is a flimsy, you know what I mean, position to put yourself in, and also to put your self-worth in. And so fortunately enough for me, my self-worth have never been in any job, in any corporation. And that is like my work, my self-worth is not tied into that. My self-worth is tied into who I am. You know what I mean? The kind of person that I show up as, the kind of dignity that I carry around and with and about myself, which was another reason why I knew that it was time for me to get up out of there. Because, sometimes you can get to a point where you can allow people to take you to a level that is there, that you can go to, but it is not in the best place for you. And I quite honestly have done a video recently where I say about not letting people take you out of alignment. And honestly, that is this situation that I'm telling you right now was a provoking reason for me even recording that video. Was I felt myself being taken out of alignment, and I'm saying that being taken because I had given permission to someone to take me out of alignment. And so I have recalibrated. I am back in alignment. I feel good about the position that I'm at. It just feels nice to be living a peaceful and stress-free and quiet existence, you know what I mean, in nature at 11 in the morning, you know what I mean, like not having conversations about things that don't matter to me, that is not bringing any harmony or any kind of goodwill to the world, you know what I mean, like. And so it just feels nice to be in a different space, and I'm also just reminding myself to listen to myself, because it always ends up in like I don't want to call it a bad way, but it always ends in a way where I feel like my spirit is being impacted. And so it's just important to just be in alignment, be in tune with yourself, hear yourself. Don't worry about what the next steps look like. Don't worry about the future. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow doesn't exist. All you have is the gratitude that you have in this very present moment. And I am learning to not only speak that, but be somebody that continuously walk that talk, because it's super important, and it's super valuable in whatever this next chapter is, which I gotta tell you, I am super hopeful and excited about what's next. There are some things in the work, and in the interim, I'm just enjoying life. You know what I mean? I am enjoying the beauty that is all of this godliness. You know what I mean? So I'm taking a break. A good friend of mine asked me, about like, are you looking for, I'm taking a break. It's like being in a relationship. You get out of a relationship. Most of us who got sense don't jump right into another one the next day or the next week. Granted, I do recognize that in the situation, leaving a job, especially with how costly things are, especially in the United States, I do recognize that it is a privilege to be able to say that I'm going to be out of work intentionally and take time off. I'm expecting to at least at minimum take the next year off just to, you know, but also too understanding that I didn't just get to keto for no reason. This has all been in the works, you know what I mean? Like the strategy has been there, you know? And so I have a lower cost of living, and so that affords more opportunities to explore more, to think more, to try more things, to be creative. It's just been nice, you know. It's been nice to get back into the fact that we are not made solely to work. We are not made to produce, you know? So yeah, that is really all I had for you today. I am grateful always for you for listening and for watching. And I look forward to talking to you in future videos and giving you an update on what's going on, an update on this journey. And again, wherever you are at, whatever your situation is, know that you are not defined by it. Know that you are not defined by your situation. At any moment, you can change your life. At any moment, you can change your mind. This that I'm doing, I did not create this world. You know what I mean? Like, I did not create the idea of getting up and trying something different. You've got to get out of your way, you know? You've got to think outside of the way that you've always thought and recognize that there is a whole world out there waiting for you, a whole lot of things out there, a whole lot of good waiting for you. And being caught in that toxic rat race, you know what I mean, is not healthy for us. It's not healthy for us to do for the entirety of our lives. And I hope to see you out here soon, you know? And I'm, again, looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Deuces.